years together, but I'm exhausted when love lacks respect. It's tea time. Real problems, real people, real posts. So grab your favorite cup of tea or whatever it is you like to drink and let's spill the tea and clean it up. Let's go. All right. So what's up? I'm Tanya, one half of TNL.J Visions Relationship Coaching, and I hope you're doing well. Today we got a poster. Been in a relationship for 6 years, but lacks the respect. So we're gonna get into this post. I ain't gonna hold you. We're just gonna hop right on in and read the post. So I'm a 25-year-old male, have been dating my girlfriend, 25-year-old female, for 6 years. She's smart, professional, and honestly, there are many things about her that I admire. She can also be very clingy, which makes me feel loved. But the truth is, this relationship has become really exhausting. Oh, my. Let me scroll. The biggest issue is how she handles conflict. Very important. She's more dominant in our relationship and I always feel like she's right. Whenever we fight, she yells, she spirals in her own emotions and drags arguments out for up to 6 hours. Woo, woo, woo. Let me grab my coffee. What you got out there to drink? I got coffee today. Even though it's tea time, y'all know I got to do my coffee. Be sure to put in the comments what you got. Okay. All right. So let's hop back in. I had to sip my little tea on that one. So anyway, so she drags arguments out for 6 hours, up to 6 hours. That's become normal for us, but I'm so tired of it. It's funny that this says for up to 6 hours because today my husband Lamont and I was talking about how up to 90% off sales be going on. You go in the store, you're like, what a 90%, but you forget that it's up to and stuff like that. You forget the up to. It was actually some edge control that says that it lasts up to 24 hours. And I totally neglected that. When I look at it, I expected it to last 24 hours, but it said up to. So, yeah, that part. Got to pay attention to that. But anyway, arguments last for up to 6 hours. That's become normal for us. But I'm so tired of it. She often says I repeat the same mistakes over and over. I try to explain the actual facts, but she never wants to listen. What hurts me the most is when she tells me to use my brain whenever I make a mistake. It feels like there's no respect at all. We've tried to fix things. We've had open conversations, even counseling, but nothing really changes. The pattern repeats. Yelling first, no quick resolution, and everything has to go in circles before it ends. Honestly, I'm still here, maybe because we've been together so long. But if things keep going on like this, and I added on, if things keep going like this, I'm not even sure we'll make it to marriage next year, even though that's the plans. So a bit of clarity. This is my first time reading this too, so they're not married. Okay, so of course I'll get into that portion when we clean it up, but let's keep reading. That's the plan. What I want is simple: a relationship with respect, listening, and healthy conflict resolution. I know she's tired of me too, but I just wish she could be more respectful, actually listen, and stop yelling every time something goes wrong. I'm exhausted and I don't know what to do anymore. For those who have been in a similar situation, what would you suggest? Should I keep trying to fix this or accept that it may never change? TLDR. Been with my girlfriend for 25 years. I'm sorry, she's 25 for 6 years. She's smart, loving, but every conflict turned into a 6 hours of yelling, no real resolution, and lots of disrespect, like telling me to use my brain. We've tried open talks and counseling, but nothing changes. I'm exhausted and don't know if I should keep trying or walk away. So let's get into some of these comments. What do you think thus far? Feel free to put, some of your advice just based off of me reading the poster's post. If you got some good positive advice, go on and drop that in the comments. This poster obviously needs our help. So let's help. All right, so Bum Stumblefoot says, you already know the answer. You're just afraid to accept it. 6 years, counseling, open conversation, and nothing has changed. That's your answer. Hmm. Concert, concerted, whatever. Concerted is what I'm gonna say. Imagine a future where you have children and that automatic yelling reaction is directed at them. Some things to think about, poster. Moose planner, she ain't gonna change. It's been 6 years, and granted, 19 to 25 are huge changes for people, but 25, I find, is where people's lifelong patterns start to settle. How you handle conflict is the most important thing in a relationship. Agreed. That means listening to each other and talking through problems. Most people don't respond to logic arguments when the issue is emotional. They just want to feel like they are heard and that you care. However, belittling your partner, screaming for 6 hours and insulting their intellect is an even crappier way to handle it. Ideally, counseling should be teaching you both healthier ways to work through conflict, but that requires you both want that. Absolutely. For her to change, she needs to show some self awareness that what she's doing is hurting you and incredibly unhealthy. I see no sign of that. The relationship has run its course. You're no longer happy. Frankly, she doesn't seem like or respect you, so I accept it is over and move on. That's a great comment, for the most part. Great comment. And then we'll do this last one, and then I'm going to get my husband, Lamont, on to get his view on this. Ain't nothing like a man and a woman's point of view. All right. So, Hellicious Fire. Hellicious Fire. Don't hold me to these names, y'all. Okay. So, sounds like the relationship has run its course. It happens. Time to let it go and move on. Your relationship should be a source of joy and peace. Yours isn't. So, let it go. So, how do you feel again? Do you think it's time to let this thing go? Or do you think they should try to continue to work it out? I'll give them how I feel and some more talking points in a little bit. Let me get Lamont on here.
Man, I think too often when we doing stuff, we fail to we do things, different things, but we fail to change our 24 hours, how we interact and what we watch. Did
Mm-hmm.
a lot about our relationships. And I was just thinking about that today. I said, man, what we watch so much is going to dictate your relationships. Yeah, we went to counseling. Yeah, we did all that, but did we change what we watch during the 24-hour period? I know some people might be working. I don't know what their time schedule is, but depends on the time they got together. What we watch is a biblical thing, and if we working on our relationship and we plan on getting married, then we need to actually watch, not just go to counseling, but practice is watching other things to help us enhance our relationship. Maybe communication things. They got a lot of couples therapy things that be online. We live in an information age, so like nowadays we can use AI to answer that very question instead of us like putting that in like Reddit, and they're putting in Reddit and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I think AI is the technology where we can get real answers like this answered quicker.
Okay. Great, baby. Thank you for that advice. But so, how do you feel about him actually being in this relationship? Do you feel like there's room for change, room for growth for the partner? Or what advice would you give him on staying in this relationship or, leaving the relationship.
I mean, I think there's room for growth. I think there's room for growth.
So, what are some of the things that you believe he can do to help her? Because she's not changing.
Well, you can't change nobody,
Right.
but you
But
can set the environment for a change. Like I say, they need to go to more of conflict counseling because they might have went to counseling, but different counselors, there's different forms of counseling. So you got to go conflict. They seem like they got conflict. They don't know how to talk to each other, and they need to learn how to talk to each other because on the other side of that conflict is going to be that's she's asking for something. She's screaming. She's saying something. Only he knows with that. But I mean, she's saying something with all this. If he says she's all emotional, she's saying a lot of words, but he need to understand what she's saying.
okay. He also said that she doesn't really listen to him. Like she don't listen. And some of the words that she said hurt him as well.
Got to be respect. I think without respect, you can't move forward.
Right. Let me see if I can find a part. He did say he admired her and everything, though.
He what?
He admired her.
Yeah, like I say, I think he's just frustrated, but I think they really need more conflict resolution skills, and you got to cultivate the environment for this type of stuff to keep growing. Because
Yeah.
once you go to counseling, if you just do 1 hour counseling, that's not enough. You got
Yeah. He said,
4 days. You got six more and a half days that you together. You're not in counseling.
yeah.
We
So
got
he
to.
He said what hurts him the most is when she tells me to use my brain whenever I make a mistake. It feels like there's no respect at all.
Mm.
It's always those trigger words too.
Yeah,
Like I wonder was there something he was going through in his childhood where, his
yeah,
parents, somebody was like, use your head sometimes,
yeah, yeah.
something trigger him or something.
I mean, but hey, sometimes we got to use our brain though, because if we don't think, then once we react without thinking, then people will think we slow. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sometimes we got to use our brain, even though it's hurt. Sometimes it's hurt to hear that, but we do as adults, we do got to think before we act, so we don't look stupid.
Yeah, and we also have to be vulnerable sometimes. So if he was going through that,
And
you know,
tell her.
tell her that, how he feels. And she definitely needs to, if he's not catching on, well, I'm gonna let you go ahead, baby. This your segue. And then I clean up my part.
All right.
But do you have anything else?
Nope.
Thank you so much for joining, baby. Taking the time out to help as always.
All right.
All right, love you.
Love you.
All right. So that was the word from the wise. So now for me to give some insights and clean this thing up, I say, 6 years invested in a relationship, you think in marriage, you build history, but instead of building peace, you drown in conflict. And so here's the thing, love can't survive a hostile environment. I mean, you can admire someone's strength, you can love their little quirks, but if every disagreement turns into hours of yelling, spiraling emotions, and disrespectful words like use your brain, even though sometimes we do need to use our brain, you feel disrespected by it, and when you tell her, she still say use your brain, then what you have isn't healthy conflict. It's kind of like chaos. And I feel like this young man's story reminds us of a hard truth. Staying together because the time invested is not the same as staying together because the foundation is strong. And we know we need a foundation, a strong foundation. So today, let's unpack this. What do you do when love is present, but respect is missing? Just walk out the door. The respect is gone. How do you know if it's time to keep fighting for the relationship or if it's time to walk away? Well, you can love somebody deeply, but if respect isn't present, the relationship is going to always feel draining. Respect is shown in listening. I know you said that she didn't listen. That listening is a form of respect. Okay, in tone and in how conflicts are handled, not just in the sweet moments. Okay, so you want to listen when he's screaming, when I know it's hard to listen when the tone is something that you're not comfortable with. But if you're in it for the long haul, then these are things that you're going to have to learn how to do. You're going to have to learn your partner. If your partner is a person who, she might be a person that just talk loud, or even if the person is soft spoken, doesn't mean don't listen or cut into what they're saying. Okay, so patterns definitely speak louder than apologies. The poster said they've had open talks and counseling, but the cycle keeps repeating. Okay, so if the cycle keeps repeating, there's no change. Are you setting the tone for like a safe space where y'all can talk, or are you working on yourself? Because like my husband said, we can't change other people, but we can change ourselves. So become aware of what triggers your wife or your girlfriend. If this relationship is something that you deem to be worth saving and get married, you definitely got some things to work on before you actually tie that knot. Don't just tie that knot, okay? I think you said in a year, you got some work to do. Both of y'all got work to do. So create a safe space. If you don't have a safe space where y'all can talk, which you don't seem like, because it's always yelling and yelling going on for 6 hours, up to 6 hours, create a safe space where y'all can discuss y'all feelings, the week, the things you don't like, the things you like, and this is a no yelling zone. And be sure to set those boundaries of the safe space before you actually start communicating or talking with your partner. Make sure one of the things that you want done in this safe space is active listening. Okay? So change is going to require more than promises. It's going to require both of you to be accountable and consistent behavior shifts. Okay? So conflict should not be in your relationship so strong. Conflict should build, not break. So if you're having conflict in your relationship that's breaking you, it's unhealthy. You want healthy conflict. Healthy conflict can actually deepen intimacy when both of you listen and resolve issues. 6 hours of arguments that spiral, that's emotional warfare, not conflict resolution. All right, and so another thing I heard you say is that she's clingy, and that makes you feel like you want it. Is clinginess true connection? Feeling wanted is nice, but clinginess can mask insecurity. So she might be clinging on to you because she's insecure. True connection is built on freedom, trust, and mutual respect, not controlled through emotional outbursts. Okay? Now, a lot of people stay because time is invested. And I kind of heard you say that too. You said we've been together 6 years, so I can't leave now. But the truth is, you don't owe your future to a past that's no longer working. So don't have that be the reason that you're staying because y'all been together so long. Okay? Because do you want your next 6 years or the rest of your life to be the same way? And when you tie that knot, it's for better or worse, for rich or poor, to death do you part. So those are some things to think about. My final thought is that relationships don't fall apart because of one bad fight. They fall apart because of repeated patterns that never change. If someone refuses to address how they handle conflict, refuses to respect your voice, and refuses to create peace, then you got to ask yourself, what am I really holding on to? The goal isn't just to make it to marriage. That's what a lot of us think. If I can just make it to marriage and get married, things gonna change. No, they actually magnify. Things get worse. Okay, the goal is to make it to a healthy, lasting marriage. 6 years in a relationship doesn't mean you should push through, at all costs, at any cost. It means you should have 6 years of evidence of how this person loves you, listens to you, and respects you. Don't confuse endurance with growth. Nothing changes. Guess what? Nothing changes. You deserve a love that doesn't just cling, but a love that respects, listens, and builds with you. Because the right partner not gonna drain you. They'll give you peace. All right, so I challenge you to create that safe space if you haven't, because it doesn't seem like you've been through everything that you can do to salvage this relationship. So try to create that safe space. I wouldn't say go ahead and get married. I wouldn't say that by far. But if you want to try to salvage the relationship, give it a date, put a date on it, put some boundaries on it, create that safe space and talk about it. That's my challenge to you. Create that safe space and talk to your partner about how you feel. Be very vulnerable. And when you become very vulnerable, maybe she will too. But it's definitely needed in this relationship to salvage this relationship. We also, my husband and I have created a course. I'll have the link in the description somewhere below. Visit it, lovercoaching.com. We out here to create healthier relationships and help couples go from conflict to connections, because we know that it's definitely needed in relationships. We don't have to show you how to do conflict. That's already out here a lot. It's everywhere. But how to have healthy conflict or go from conflict to connection is not. So again, check out that course. It's free for a limited time. It'll be in the link somewhere. And be sure to catch me on the next one. Hey, Visionaries, make sure you comment, like, share. Share your thoughts, because again, we need to help posters just like him do relationships. Okay? Let's create some happy, positive relationships. Again, comment, like, share. See you on the next one. Same time, same place. Till then.